Hello. I'm not sure where I'm streaming from because it was a little debacle setting up this stream. But if you are joining, welcome. I can't see you right now in the chat. Maybe I'll go. Oh, there's Karen. Karen showed up. Karen, let me know. Did you receive a notice? Because I attempted to set the stream up directly into YouTube and I set it up, but then it needed a secondary streaming. So I still had to go through StreamYard because I didn't want to mess around with OBS because my daughter she needs to help me with that, okay? Or somebody I know what's his name was helping me with it. The good brother. But if you got it, that's great that you got like notice because it was last minute. I mentioned to Karen I was going to do a live stream, but I didn't know what time. So it's a late one. It's like a late nightcap. I wonder if Girl Code is around. She might pop in. Karen, thank you. Anne, Molly. I love that you're here. You got a notification, Molly? Okay. Well, I tried to let people know as much as I could, but I'll get better with the notifications. I'll work on that, okay? Hey, Shirley, welcome. And stay long here, a birthday party. Ooh. Happy birthday to your family, whoever it is. Hope you have fun. So I wanted to tap in, as I said, with you all. It's been a while. Hope you've been well. A lot has been going on that I send content on Instagram. I pretty much stay in contact with you all on Instagram, right? And Facebook, I'm not active on. I just post to Facebook automatically from Instagram. I'm not active on Facebook, not so much, but it's mainly here and on Instagram. IG, you're here. It's a late night, okay? So we're going to hang out and catch up. I wanted to just talk about the things that we hadn't had a chance to talk about and get together on and see how you're feeling. IG said Aries in the house. Yes, Tucker, everyone is here. Okay, the manager, you may hear the manager. The manager's right here in my lap. Okay, to it. The manager is here in my lap. See, there's the manager. So the manager gets rocked to sleep. Okay, so the manager took a long time to get to sleep. I was trying to plan it out well so the manager would be asleep by now, but the manager is not asleep right now. So I am just rocking the manager. The manager is just very quiet right now. You'll get to meet Tucker. Tucker's right here. So Tucker may make a little introduction. Okay. Lot, a lot with that. It's a long story. For those that met Tucker already, you kind of you saw Tucker's picture, right, on Instagram. He's so cute. Okay, I'll have to tell you the story about him. But let's see the headlines. So I don't want to rehash. You've already had a million conversations about the indictment. So the indictment happened. The stormy came through. So we got the storm, right? The storm is upon us. Was that the storm? The stormy? I feel some kind of way because it is Stormy, and that was my grandmother's name, Stormy. How dare them take my grandmother's name? So the stormy is upon us. The clown show is in full display to the whole entire world. America, what have you become? America, right? Good old America, good old apple pie America. We are quite a laughing stock right now. I don't care if you think it's a globe or flat earth, whatever, around the world, okay? Can we all get along? Aren't we over it? Are you over it? All of the division. I just think that I would be in echo chambers so much anymore. Remember I told you I enjoy things that have a little bit of balance, not so much of an echo chamber, but I like to hear and see what some other side, participants on the other side of these divides, what they are saying. So, where I go for that is Twitter. Twitter is the place that I don't see echo chambers for myself as much. So, Molly said we were talking about it on Station Head. That's smart. So you were on Station Head. Oh, I miss Station Head. Listen, everyone, I want to upgrade a lot of my devices and things, and hopefully that will combat some of the tech issues I've been having. I really tiptoe through the tech tulips. You wouldn't believe the acrobatics that I have to do just to stay online, just to hack into this matrix and stay in touch with you. I see someone here that whenever she's here, oh my goodness, Rosie Pie. Welcome, Rosie Pie. Look at that. This is beautiful. Look at what a long time away will bring Rosie Pie out. And we've got 420 Wild Dragon. Well, hello. Always nice to see you. How's it going up in Canada, Stan? We're all North America, one big banana republic. I ain't no hollaback girl. This is a banana republic, everyone. Oh boy, wait a minute. It's a cat fight. Okay, Joseph Smith and Tucker. It's a lot going on right now. Did you hear the cat fight? It didn't have to be that way, but I'll tell you about Tucker. We have Tucker now. Okay. So listen. My daughter does, just aside, and she was delivering, and it was a Burger King delivery. Well, this kitten tried to steal the Burger King delivery, and she was just like, what's going on? So, and it's this little kitten, and he's just, real rambunctious, and she didn't know what to do. She got the order away, and she's like trying to let the lady know, hey, is this your cat? Is trying to take your food. And she saw the cat. And so she's like, that cat's not known to me. I've never seen it. And then the cat jumped in my daughter's vehicle. The cat rode on her shoulders and she came and brought the and I'm a sucker. What was I going to do? I drew a bath up for the little critter. I slapped a nice a nice dab of Ivor paste. Ivor paste. Is that okay? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I put a little. I have some back here. Wait a minute. Oh, where is it? If somebody doesn't know what I'm talking about, you could say in the chat. We have to do our little. I slapped a little Ivor paste in the little critter's mouth. And what else did I do? I clip nails, nice little manicure. So you're not, of the streets. And the name is Tucker. Tucker Dash Tucker, because door dash. Dash and Tucker. So whatever. Listen, this cat is some kind of wild, maybe possible cat. Got really beautiful markings. It looks like a bangle. Okay, so the cat is in with just charismatic, has hearts. The manager loves this cat. In fact, the manager and the cat are like copacetic, like they have a thing. It's like the cat is an animal version of the manager. It's really weird. It's a bill. Do you think so, Molly? Let me know what this cat is. I don't want to take it to a veterinarian so they could start jabbing it and putting trackers in it. This is going to be a very off the grid cat. Okay, it's a little kitten. And I'm telling you, so smart and just amazing. So what are you going to do? So now we have Tucker. And Josephine came in. You didn't see this part just a minute ago. Josephine came in. Tucker was sleeping on here. And she sniffed Tucker, which she hadn't done. She hadn't approached Tucker yet. Tucker approaches her. And she just approached him and then started growling at him. So they both ran out, and I don't know, they're working on their relationship. So that's what's going on. Okay. So Tucker tried to steal a Burger King order. What are you going to do? What is going on? So anyway, let's see. What else? Yeah, no jabs for Tucker, right? Veterinarians. Oh, by the way, on Instagram, Instagram, on Twitters. Who's on Twitter? Let me know. I want to get a sense of who has gone back to Twitter. Have you had your Twitter account reinstated? Because we are the shadow banned people. We're the ones that are in the social media jails of the world. So we're not good community standard followers, right? Always being accused of something, of cyberbullying. I don't want to even say the word. I'm trying to fly up the radar. We're hanging out late. Let me try to not get in trouble today. So, okay, Twitter. I'm telling you, if you 420 says I deleted my Twitter 2 years ago. Yeah, I was deleted 2 years ago. I haven't gotten my old account reinstated. If I do, I wouldn't know. So yeah, I just have a new account and I just love it because of the Twitter spaces. And I'm really not nice to, Dr. Tedros. So whenever I go on the Twitter, I see his tweet all at the top. I'm like, oh, Lord, is Dr. Tedros again? Do I have to read his stupid tweet? And I do. I read it. What is that called? Hate reading? So I look at him and I'm like, what is he saying now? What kind of lies is he telling? This man, he grates on my nerves. I'm irked by Dr. Tedros of the WHO. So Dr. Tedros, you talk about, I don't think he manages his account, of course, but whoever manages his account must be an AI, because so it has no soul to it, like it's no life, no vital signs, just whatever. Like, no, they call it, what is that word when it's called troll reading? That's what I'm doing. I'm troll reading. And I can't stop it, okay, Molly? Because it always shows up at the top of my feed. I see Dr. Tedros. I'm like, oh, here we go with this lying criminal. So I'm troll reading. Okay, thanks for letting me know the term. I didn't know it. So yeah, and you know what I do? I'm always troll tweeting him. So I'm telling you, I'm on his list. He probably says I can't stand her. So whenever he tweets, I response, and he just is what, you know, the term ratioed. Do you all know these terms? This is something new. Ratioed. So he gets ratioed soon as he tweets. And I'm just thinking tone deaf as a F. Okay, how do you tweet this? Everybody's like, you should be in jail. You criminal, you terrorist, you did this to the people, you were blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my goodness, like he's talking about how he's doing all these wonderful things all around the world. But I let him know, like, one day he had a suit. I know I'm all over the place. Just hang out with me. It's almost 11 o'clock, and the manager's eyes are wide open down here. He's just looking at everything. So, okay, so Dr. Tedros, he's a veterinarian, by the way. That's why you know it's always a method to I'm gonna get there. So Dr. Tedros, I didn't know that the John is a veterinarian. Are you guys serious? Did you know that? Tell me who knew that he was a veterinarian. I didn't know that. I know Ethiopian, sorry, I'm talking about him. I don't know how you all feel about him. I haven't talked to you guys in a few years. My Ethiopian friends, my brothers and sisters, that we're still connected on Facebook. I know you probably look at my post and probably one day, but listen, Dr. Tedros, I need to know what my Ethiopians think about him, because listen, I drag him and roast him daily on Twitter. Okay. I do. Back to my point. The guru is here. The guru is here. The guru is here. Hey, peace and love. Solid. Oh, look, I know that's a bad. I'm not doing hand signals. It was unintentional. I'm not in any groups. You know me. I'm a reject of the Black Boule. I never joined anything. So if I made that hand signal, just take it out of the equation. Deborah, welcome. Good evening. Well, thank you. I'm so glad. Let's give Deborah some love from the chatmosphere. Let's welcome Deborah. Welcome, Deborah. So, okay, I'm not proud of this, but okay, Dr. Tedros had a picture last week on Twitter. I was like, oh my God. He had a suit on and had these, like, those shoes that like older guys wear, like they're kind of a square toe bed, as they call it, a toe bed. And it's like square, and it has like seams, like three. You can talk about, they're not leather, they're pleather, and that's okay, because that means you love animals. I'm not trying to shade the pleather fiber, but I'm just trying to make a point. If I could draw it or show it to you, but you know me and the StreamYard will start out if I do anything. So I'm trying to explain it. It's like a square toe bed, and it has seams, like three seams. And the colors are usually like bone, not white, but bone. And he had like a bone colored shoe with a square toe bed, pleather, and maybe a brown or blue suit. And I'm like, Tedros, are you serious? So I said, Tedros, you grift entirely too much money to ever choose that with us. Are you kidding me? I'm like, have you noticed that, everybody? Like all the people that grift and grift and grift, and they supposed to be like millionaires, multimillionaires, and you're like, why do you look this way if you have this much money? Do you know what I would look like if I had that much money? Do you think I would look like this? I'm not saying I would get a whole bunch of surgeries or anything, but I'm just saying you could do things like spruce yourself up, you know? Like for instance, Dr. Is he a doctor? Dr. Fauci's. Dr. Fauci is a multimillionaire. Does he look like one to you? I'm just saying. I don't know. I just thought money makes you look. It's my hang up. You could tell me what you think. But I'm just saying, me personally, if I had that much money, I just wouldn't look that way. I don't know. So Tedros, none of the people, they look dusty and musty. I don't know. It must be because I don't think too much of them. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to say that I'm not very nice to Tedros on Twitter. So yeah, just know. I've told you, I've admitted to it, okay? So oh gosh, here's a tweet by Tedros, for instance. Okay, manager, I know. The manager is really hanging on. Oh, here he is. Let me read it. Tedros is saying that the WHO is having a milestone and is a testament to the excellence and commitment of thousands of individuals who have come together throughout the WHO's history to pursue their founding vision and their highest possible. This is the kind of like tone deaf stuff they post. And oh my goodness, so he's up here in a video, but I'm going to tell you how they he gets ratio. He says, I'm proud. Okay, it's hashtag I'm proud to be who. I'm proud to be who. They're having an anniversary, 75 years of the WHO. Wow. Okay, so Tedros is Tedros is up here on a video. And here we go. First tweet response. Liars and criminals go to jail. And the next is like the history of skeletons of Tedros. We did not elect you. You do not own us. This is called being ratioed, okay? This milestone is a testimonial to 75 years of medical organized crime executed by criminals. So this is the kind of stuff. You barely see anything nice on his feed. It's like you might see one nice thing, but it doesn't even seem sincere. Like it might be a bot. But the others are just woo. He gets roasted on a daily. Wait, this person says, Sean says, piss off and leave us alone. The World Hoax Organization gaslighting. Like wow. Okay. Woo. Okay. So listen, I'm not trying to get shady or anything. I know you saw my thumbnail. You saw our girl, Melania Trump. And I don't know, all this stuff was going on. The indictment in the Southern District of New York. So when the indictment was happening, lock him up, lock him up. I just happened to think about Melania. And it's funny that before the New York Post reported, like they did a front page thing on Melania. And I thought it was interesting because I was thinking the way that the media loves to, really get into the minutia of these kind of stories, it seemed odd that they never really checked in to see, well, how is Melania? Now, I know the media wasn't nice to her, and they continue to not be nice to her, I'm sure. But she's low, which is wise, of course. But again, the media is just so weird how they didn't really, again, have many headlines about Melania. And boom, pops up yesterday. We'll see that where it's kind of like, I think I've seen this headline before where they're trying to say that she has a former, wait, let me get to the picture I have. I'm not going to show any slides tonight because I don't want the stream to start having issues. It always seems that whenever I share something, I'll work on that, okay? But just in the meantime, I'll just, I'm sorry, manager. Okay, so it was this. Okay, I'm back. Listen, the manager managed to get me out of the studio. I don't know what he did. These children that came through these times, they're very advanced. This little hand just did something real quick and bounced me out of the studio. So thank you for sticking around. All right, back to the topic. All right, so the headline read, it's like the New York Post. I'm going to admit to it. It's fun. It's a fun rag to read. It's comical. It's like reading the Onion or something. So I like it a lot. So sorry. Okay. So the headline was First Lady's Armor. Manager, please, okay, don't do that again. First Lady's Armor, which is interesting. First Lady, they refer to armor. And they say Melania Trump lives in, if anybody has deep with this, please let me know, because I haven't, but Melania Trump lives in an ivory tower of denial, where silence is deliberate, said ex-friend. So what do you expect an ex-friend to say? Like, really? What do you say, Molly? Let's see. Molly is saying, I feel like Melania is housing, clothing, and educating children with her Be Good program. Oh, yeah, I did hear about that program. I don't know much about the program in terms of, if anybody knows, let us know. So let's see. Oh, Molly, thank you. You're so sweet, Molly. How you doing? I did for the manager. The manager had some peanut butter earlier. So okay, ivory tower. So what is it? Let me remind myself what is because this is sometimes how I fall into rabbit holes. It's like wrestling an alligator. Okay, so Ivory Tower. If anybody knows, please drop it in there for me. Ivory Tower. Meaning. Okay. Let's get into it. What does that mean? Maybe somebody has. Hey, Jamie. Jamie is saying, I'm only worried about. Let's see. I'm only worried about the people coming to house, the cartels, the government paid cartels. I guess it's one and the same. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so an ivory tower, this is just review for you, but just I never looked it up. It's a place or attitude of retreat. Okay. Especially preoccupation with lofty, remote, or intellectual considerations rather than practical everyday. I know that also academic things. So a sheltered, overly academic disconnection or lack of awareness of reality or practical considerations. A state of mind that is discussed if it were a place. So that's interesting. It's a place of retreat or an attitude. So, what would you expect a woman who is married to a billionaire to do in circumstances like this? I believe that a woman of that particular life experience, I'll call it, being married to a billionaire is not a regular life. I don't care who you are, right? So anyone married to a billionaire is used to this is so professional, isn't it? Okay, so anybody married to a billionaire is used to drama like this. Unfortunately, and I'm talking more so in America. I don't know what it's like in other countries. I kind of know because I lived in and I actually rented an apartment from a man that we're probably still friends on Facebook, but he was like a overseer, like he looked out for me, an older gentleman, actually two of them. They're both Carlo. Shout out to you, Carlo. I don't know if we're still connected, but anyway, Carlo, he was a textile, like he owned a textile company, and he had two places. So basically, before he was married, a lot of the Italian men, they live with their parents until they're like in their 40s when a lot of them would get married. Now, this was just the circle of people that I knew in Milan. This was something they explained to me. So they would live at home and they would have to entertain their lady friends. And the apartment, wasn't occupied all the time, of course. And this was normal. And also, married men, we've seen these things like in France, like the prime minister, right? He had like a side chick or whatever. And it was like, no big deal to them. They think that Americans are real strange because we have hangups about things like this. And it's more open and expected and normalized for a man to have a side chick. So sometimes they have apartments for their side chicks or whatever. But anyway, I'm not saying that you were doing that, Carlo, of course. But Carlo had an apartment that was it was like a corporate apartment. So we had corporate clients, they would come and stay. So he rented the corporate apartment to me and a friend of mine that we were over in Milan modeling. So we rented his corporate apartment. It was really nice in a neighborhood, like a real residential area. So we got a real experience living in this area. So I'm saying that to say that wealthy men get to do things that women might not be able to do in terms of, I don't know. And I'm not saying that something happened between Stormy and Trump, because from what I understand, he denies it, right? He denies the relationship, and according to reports, and I'm just, when I'm really glossing over this stuff, because I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I'm over it. I was over it before I was over it, okay? But she admitted that nothing happened. Am I right? So she admitted that nothing happened. So it's a really weird, like, clown world kind of, just saga. So if she is saying it didn't happen, but then it doesn't matter because you could just say what you want, but we all know what's behind it all. Most of us know. So back to a billionaire. A wife of a billionaire, in my estimation, is used to women coming at her husband sideways, okay? Side chicks, wannabe side chicks, coming at her husband's face. So imagine behind the scenes all of the things, that the fires that have to be put out. But a wife of a billionaire is usually involved in a lot of activity that something like that, it might not even be on her radar, because these things are expected. They expect women at this point. We have seen it enough to know that women come with agendas to powerful men. Powerful, wealthy men, they are prey to women being traps, honeypots, whatever you want to call it. So, that being said, if we are to use emotional intelligence and just basic discernment, you can see through a lot of this, and it's just what it is. So a wife of a billionaire, Melania, she has a decorum to her, and it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people came down hard when I would talk about her a lot in 2020. A lot of people would like post things about, oh, well, she modeled and she was nude and all this. She modeled. Okay, yeah, she modeled. And I haven't seen all the pictures she's modeled in, but okay, she has been in different states of undress. And she was younger. And she also comes from Europe, if you want to call it Eastern Europe. Their standard of art, and even ours, is similar. You have models that they model in the nude for art students and all kinds of things. So what are we going to say? We are a society. See, this is the thing I can't stand about the people that came at me and wanted to say, well, she's this and she's that. These are the same people that celebrate people like Cardi B and Meg the Stallion and all these people that celebrate horror culture. These are the same people that celebrate that, but yet they want to act like Puritans when, okay, if Trump had this affair, and we know that affairs are not uncommon, they're not common. We can judge them But ultimately, an affair is really between the two people that are contracted in a marriage. It really is between them. Now, when the affair spills out into other areas that affects, say, national security, okay? Like I have President Clinton, he was very sloppy with his affairs, plural. Wait a minute, let me put the banner on. Why didn't you tell me I didn't have the banner on? All right, plural. My speech is protected for now under Section 107, copyright of 1976. All right, back on to what I was saying. So when I think of an affair like what former President Clinton was running amok, his affairs actually spilled out into national security issues. Now, this thing that they're trumping up, pun intended, trumping up, I don't know where I would have a concern about national security. I'm just saying. But the affair, whether it happened or not, is between him and Melania. That's just it. Yeah, you sometimes have to pay people to go away, pests, and a pest who doesn't want to just fall back. You may have to throw some money at them because they're for the streets, and that's what they want anyway. So they're motivated by money. They don't do this to other men. It's only wealthy men. So, and I'm not saying that women are just always, plotting on wealthy men, but wealthy men are targeted in a different way. Tina, welcome. Tina's here. Tina, I'm glad you could come and hang out. It's a late live stream. IG said, Moose, we Paisan homies. Hey there, Tina. Yay, this is nice. Oh, paint, dance, live. Oh my goodness. Hi, protected under section 1. There you go. I love it. That's funny. That's cute. All right, so the manager is just up right now. Don't judge me. Okay. You see his feet flying everywhere. So I'm just saying that this is something that makes me just wonder, what it's like for somebody like her. I mean, they call it rich people problems. Wendy Williams used to always say, well, those are rich people problems. And some of this is, but this also is a lot more to a lot of people that are concerned about the direction our country is going in. And our country has turned into a banana republic. Okay. Welcome. I have no bananas today. Carmen, oh my goodness, Carmen's here. And let's give Carmen some love. Hey, Carmen, beautiful Carmen. When you're named Carmen, I have only known beautiful Carmens. There's something about that name. Beautiful women named Carmen. I'm so glad to see you, Carmen. This is awesome. It's been so long. I've missed you. If you see little feet, okay, I have a manager that, is very involved in the show right now. So, yeah, so, keep a lot of this in perspective when we think about these things, Oh my goodness, Molly, I just love it too. I love that we can get together and chat, even if it's just for a few minutes. And when I get off of this live stream, I'm going to rock the manager real good. Don't fall out. The manager's just pushing it. So anyway, I wanted to just kind of go over these quick things. So, all right, I was a bit taken back by the news was of the man who heard about Bobby Lee. And I was telling Girl Code, their names are always like a Bobby Lee, like, you know, really basic names. Not that it's not a good name, Bobby Lee. It sounds very American, or does it? Sounds kind of Bobby Lee could sound Chinese, right? But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Bob Lee was the founder of Cash App. And it was called Square. You remember it was called Square Cash, or so say anything wrong, I welcome fact checking. So he was the founder of that. He also was part of the Android tech, and he had just moved over to another company called Mobile Coin, I believe. So it was, you know, cryptocurrency company. Now, the irony of this story is that Bob had just moved from San Francisco. And the narrative is that he felt that San Francisco had, and he wanted to move away. So he had moved his family, had sold his home in a very, you know, elite neighborhood called Rincon Hill. And he sold his multi-million dollar home, moved to Miami, and he had already moved. So he came back to the city for business, they say. Now he was walking around. It was 2:30, and sorry, manager, I'm talking so loud. I know. You could go to sleep. You don't have to stay up. So he was walking around 2:30, and somebody approached him. I don't know if it was a robbery. What the details are unknown. But he may have been by himself. You're okay, Babas. It's okay, Babas. I'll get off soon. So he was with a jab. He was unalived. And he tried to get help by, you know, bystanders. And the people drove off. They say they didn't help him. And this is sad in cities. You remember the very infamous story about the model in New York City in the 70s, and she was being actually jabbed also, and she was yelling and just knocking on doors, even to help her. They call it the bystander effect, where people feel like, okay, I hear this woman in distress, but I know my neighbor will help them, or I know my neighbor will call 911. So they assume that someone else will help. And this is something that happens, this is the desensitization that happens to us when we live in crowded cities, unfortunately. And this is even middle America. These things are starting to happen. I was talking to my daughter about that today. And we're starting to see how society, the fabric starts to unravel the further we get away from truth. I'll just say that. And this man did not get help. And the woman in New York City in the 70s did not get help. So what to say about us that not even a phone call? Now, I don't know how you all feel if you've been in emergency situations, like what would you have done? It's hard to know what you would do in circumstances, but I would hope that, somebody would do something, that not everybody is scared. There it is. Thank you, lady. I welcome, lady. Yeah, there it is. The famous Kitty Genovese. That is the exact name of what I was thinking. Yep. MK, welcome. You said we don't really know our neighbors anymore, and that's the sad truth. Now, a lot of this stuff that's happening where people are dropping like flies because of something that happened, back in, we'll just say, what I'm saying. A lot of a lot of reports are people are dropping and not being found for some time because of the lack of community. I lived in Los Angeles, and that was one of the main things when I would talk to my patients, especially people that were depressed. They would always say that Los Angeles made them depressed. There's no connection. You're in your car, and it's just, a phony place. I'm sorry, LA friends, but you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. And it makes for a lot of just problems, mental problems. And this man was a billionaire. So it just shows us that our nation is going through something that if we don't begin to reach across to each other, that's again why I like Twitter at the moment, because it's not an echo chamber, and you start to see common ground happen. I always talk about Jimmy Dore. I love Jimmy Dore for that very reason. He's like what they call a Kennedy Democrat. I say that about him. He's very reasonable. He loves the country, and he wants what's best. It's not about an ideological, I have to fit into this box. But he had unfortunately been injured by the thing that happened, and that made him start to speak out. He lost a lot of friends, and he's being telling the truth and just speaking his experience, his lived experience. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I like to listen to him and other voices like that. So right now, we're at a place that I don't know, with all of the noise that we're hearing, a lot of distraction, if this will be a conversation that continues. I mean, will it just last for a few minutes until the next thing? But I can see where this could open up a lot of dialogue with people living in places like San Francisco. And I did a reel showing like people on the streets living in the tents. You know how bad it is in San Francisco. They say you have to step over human feces. It's horrible. And it's so bad. They're basically, you have the sector, and Elon Musk is always bringing this up, San Francisco, and just how he wants to move the headquarters of Twitter out of San Francisco for these reasons: the crime infestation and the lack of, accountability by the leadership, and how, they are soft on crime. And basically, this is what happens. And it's like the movies we've been conditioned to see, like Escape from New York and all of those movies, dystopian movies. So now you have San Francisco at such a decline and collapse. The tech people that want to live in downtown, they want to live in Rincon Hill and all of these things, so they can go to good restaurants and walk places. It's a great city. It was a great city. And now, what are they going to do? A lot of them are leaving, fleeing, but they're coming to other places. And this is one of the conversations I was having with my daughter, she's left the North, and one of the things I notice about people now, I'm not saying everybody, but sometimes when people leave places like California and they move to Tennessee, or they move to Florida, Texas, and places like that, the meme about, they're like, don't come here voting like you did in California. Don't bring your crap to our place and start to bring the collapse here. And a lot of times they can be really critical, people that come from these, whatever, you're supposed to be so uppity, and they're really critical about, oh, the South is so this, and the South, they drive this way. It kind of like can sound a little bit elitist, but it makes you kind of say, well, if these places that you came from are so great, why are you not there? And what is the common denominator? So why, you're comparing how great they are, but you fled. So we have to start having some truthful conversations. And people that are, I've got to cut the live soon. The manager should have been asleep, right? But the manager just wants my attention like fully. So anyway, the cities are now unbearable, like San Francisco, like Philadelphia. And it's going to get to a point where the people who love city living and they can afford it and whatever, it's not going to be safe. Nobody is going to escape the consequences. And if these are things that they want to continue to support the decline of the cities, then the consequences are going to start hitting the people, like, unfortunately, Bob. I mean, I can't imagine why he didn't have anyone with him, security or something, billionaires, I don't know. But you can also put on your tinfoil hat, and there are probably some theories out there about what might be going on in another way of looking at it. I don't know. I haven't had time to do that. I just think it's unfortunate. It was a sad thing to hear. He's young, 43 years old, 2 young children, and a wife. So let's see. What else? Let's see. Dylan what's his name? Dylan Mulvaney. We'll talk about him another time. Dylan Mulvaney. This is somebody he's an actor. You've probably heard about him. He gets a lot of endorsements and stuff. And okay, Bubs. Okay, Bubs, the manager is. Okay, manager. We're gonna log off. I know it's late. I thought you were gonna go to sleep. You were supposed to. Remember? We had a deal. Okay. He's real dramatic too, just so you know. You have to know the personnel. So what was it? Oh, Dylan. We'll leave off on Dylan. So Dylan has a new sponsor, Bud Light or something, and people are really triggered by it. I think that this kind of Dylan guy, he thrives on attention, and he's a professional actor. Some people know that he's grifting really hard, but I think his little 15 minutes of fame will be over soon. It's not going to last. He looks like he's laughing at himself also. He looks like he's just trolling us. When I look at him, sometimes he's just having too much fun with this. So I don't really get triggered over him. He's annoying, but he's also, I don't know, he's a clown. But any company that would do that, like Bud Light, I don't think Bud Light tastes good anyway, right? I'm not a beer drinker, but I would never drink Bud Light. Never, okay? If I'm going to drink beer, it's going to be like some kind of like Molson or Guinness. Those are beers, okay? Bud Light, are you kidding me? So I'm a kind of like, I'm going to drink a real beer, okay? Dark beer. I like that kind of beer if I'm going to do it. But yeah, so listen, I'm going to head out. I've got some new things cooking, and I'll keep you posted. Just wanted to get together. I thought the manager was, listen, when you say manager is going to do something, he kind of goes in a different direction, but he's usually, I can rock him out pretty easy, but yeah, not today. So I just had him here in my lap, and we're just going to rock on out. And you can meet a new friend another time. Okay. Josephine ran Tucker off. I thought maybe you could meet Tucker. So I'll keep you posted on how everybody's getting along. I hope you all are doing well out there. I'm going to sign off now. Hey, Lori. Well, catch it on the restream, please. I'll be getting back. I'll let you know. Be doing more live streaming. But I have to get my live streaming platform together. So I'll work on that. And yes, you said Negrescence beer is best, right? Make your own brew. That's right, Tina. We need more of that, like micro brews and micro. I've even been doing some things with some micro stuff. So we'll talk about that. I love you too. And the manager, once I turn this camera off, I'm going to do the real rock. We're going to rock, rock, rock. And the manager will be out, okay? And I'll be up probably catching up with stuff. But I love you, and I'll see you soon, okay? All right, take care, everybody. Thank you for joining, and I will catch up with you very, very soon. Right. Oh.